our staff is excited to receive their students so that we can begin changing the narrative, which is our theme for this upcoming school year.
Appetizer, we've been working since last week, getting the produce, getting everything ready in the past 2 days, just prepping. They've worked really hard to get this meal ready, and like I said, we hope you guys enjoy it.
Teachers, staff, and students
they're going to
shelter in place for hazmat at this time.
In Goose Creek, there are a lot of trains, and we thought this would be a great exercise to evaluate their processes and their procedures when it came to train derailments.
I'm from the district, from Audi ISD. This is my first year in Florida's Academy.
And we've been advised what the derailment is.
I'm Madison Gilbert.
We've been planning for 7 months now, and so we've been meeting as a planning team to come up with the most realistic and possible scenario that would give every element of the phase.
Today was a train derailment, so that activated a shelter in place for hazmat in the school, and then in turn a relocation of that campus to another school, and then a reunification of students and parents.
So between the Baytown Fire Department,
my name is Fernando Carvajal. I'm from Audi ISD, and I've been in 2 years in Florida's Academy.
We came up with a scenario together, and then from there we started to determine what were critical tasks that had to be done. And then from there we start, what are things that could happen.
And all units on scene in Carver, be advised Baytown Fire, so the air quality is good enough to begin evacuation.
So we do these trainings because you can never quite fully prepare for any emergency. So muscle memory is important. So the more you prepare, the more you train, the better your outcomes are when in the event that there is an actual emergency.
So I think I found me a new Thanksgiving side for this year.
In different ICS trainings that you don't want to meet different county officials and different agencies at 2 in the morning when an incident happens, right? You want to have that relationship established with them ahead of time. So this is a great way to do that.
Overall, very pleased because there were a lot of lessons learned. A lot of things that people just thought were going to happen automatically just didn't happen, and then everybody's like, oh, that didn't happen automatically. So what do we need to do there? But I think it went well.
If you want solid first-year teachers, pick us because we are creating really great teachers. We are producing through this model that we know works for children.
As Texas sees a significant teacher shortage, alternative certification programs have taken center stage amongst our state's school districts.
In our program, we partner with school districts directly, and we are not inviting the general public.
HCDE Center for Educator Success launched a teacher certification program that tailors to the specific needs of the district.
And we talk through, here's what our scope and sequence would be across the year. How does that fit into what your district is doing? How can we complement the support already being given to new teachers? And then we adjust based on what they need most.
This is the model Spring ISD was looking for to help with the shortages they were facing in the classroom.
So we have had a long-standing partnership with Harris County Department of Education. We had the opportunity to design the program that met our specific needs. I wanted to make sure that we found a partner that aligned with what we like to call our Springway systems and routines. This is the way we do things in spring, and that was our first call.
Another call was being made, this time between two former Prairie View basketball teammates and friends.
A teammate of mine by the name of Mr. Travis Barnes, I was living in Chicago and he called me and said that, about an opportunity with Spring ISD.
So I just kind of called him up and I said, hey man, it's a teaching position open. I think you should come try it out.
They were allowing first-year teachers join the district. Didn't have to be certified, but they will allow us to work through getting our certification.
When I first got into the program, what I noticed was that they worked one-on-one with each one of their candidates. So that was the best thing for me, and they actually formed a personal relationship with us as well.
It's 6, 7, or 8 coaches with, just the mass amount of people that we have supporting us, as well as our fellow cohort classmates who can also provide us feedback.
Watching their growth from day one is really powerful for us and rewarding. Then we go watch them in their classrooms, and it's just a proud moment for us because we see them doing what we've taught them, but in a very natural way.
In spring, we believe that, we win as a team. All of us together will ensure that we have high quality teachers in our classroom with our students.
A partnership between organizations to produce exceptional educators.
So we're really a guide in terms of helping them stay the course when it gets really hard, because there are lots of days when they just need somebody to say, you can do this. Like, you were born for this, keep going.
I learned that sometimes you may get a little nervous, but with the right group and the right people pushing you, everything will be all right.
Somebody raise their hand. I'm grateful for the opportunity, very grateful. You get a free program, and then you also get people that actually care about your growth. So that's one of the main things for me, like they care about your growth, and they also with you every step of the way as well.
Harris County Department of Education's Center for After School, Summer and Enrichment, or CASE for Kids, provides out-of-school time opportunities for Harris County's children, and for many, set them on the course to incredible futures.
What's going to be the temperature of this planet? Is it going to be really...
After school is a time to explore, create, serve. Our staff strive to ignite kids' imaginations, to spark creativity, build relationships.
Through the comprehensive after-school programs team, we service over 40 different after-school programs throughout Harris County across several different school systems, and we provide services to our youth, our communities, our schools, and our families through academic assistance, social enrichment, college career readiness, as well as family engagement programming.
HCDE's CASE for Kids is the largest out-of-school time intermediary in Texas and wants to see that every child in Harris County has access to high-quality learning opportunities.
A lot of what we do is to broker services through other folks. We are able to equalize opportunities. We are able to bring opportunities to kids across Harris County, kids that would not otherwise be able to access arts, sports, environmental, service learning opportunities.
American citizens to vote her out and vote whoever else they feel.
One of the most popular after-school programs is debate. Debate has so many lifelong benefits.
The 40s and 50s about civil rights.
CASE enables students from lower income families to participate by taking care of competition fees, transportation, food, and in some instances, clothing.
Coming to CASE for Kids, where we get pretty much free entries, we're fed all day. For students that come from underprivileged backgrounds, which would be most of my team, this has been an extremely fun and I think important thing for us to come to once every month.
Our department equalizes opportunities. We leverage dollars, we share resources, and we work to drive change. We work with the nonprofit who's bringing in the expertise, and together we can create a service that is lower cost than if someone was trying to do it alone.
In partnership with the Harris County Education Foundation, CASE for Kids supports school day learning through the annual EcoBot Challenge. Over 300 4th through 8th graders prepare throughout the school year to compete with students across the county.
What they did here is really, really amazing.
During the summer, the learning and fun continue due to the County Connection Summer Youth Initiative grant. HCDE funds the 8-week summer initiative for 40 different organizations that provide activities throughout the summer that include camping, cooking, sewing, fine arts, academic enrichment, and mentoring. Case for Kids also provides ongoing professional development, research-based curriculum, supplies, and training for teachers and providers running the out-of-school programs.
I want people to know CASE cares. I want our kids in Houston to have that opportunity, and that's what we're doing every day in our
The Board of Trustees of the Harris County Department of Education now convened in a special call board meeting on Wednesday, November 20th, 2024 in the boardroom at 6300 Irvington Boulevard, Houston, Texas at 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, at 1:15. We wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present at this board meeting of the Board of Trustees. As trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and set policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the department are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on today's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking time today to join us and for your interest in the Harris County Department of Education. All right, so with that, we will get started with invocation. We have Ansa Usmani. Yes.
Alrighty. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ansa Usmani, and I work for the Research and Evaluation Institute. And I would like to thank you all for joining today on Wednesday, November 20th. And I would like to thank everyone for being able to join here, especially in the spirit of Thanksgiving. And I'd like to recognize that with the spirit of Thanksgiving, let's focus on the values of love, charity, and hope, especially considering the upcoming holiday season and, and how it can help bring us all closer together as a company. And may the season be productive and may it guide us to efficient solutions for our division and as a company. And I would like to end this invocation with a simple motivational quote by Steve Jobs. Quote, "Great things in business are never done by one person, they're done by a team of people." Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, so we do not have anyone signed up for public participation in open forum. So with that, we will move on to reports and presentations. And we'll start with Employee of the Month. Dr. Sylvester.
Madam President, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Colbert, today we honor Ms. Mary Vargas, a General Office Clerk with our Adult Education Program, as our November Employee of the Month. As a product of the HCDE GED program herself, Ms. Vargas is an outspoken proponent of the benefits of adult education. She is committed to helping students succeed. Her constant motivation and drive to enroll students into classes has always been her passion, said Bill Medina, Adult Education Manager. She wants everyone she touches to succeed, like she did as a student and graduate from our GED program. In addition to motivating students to further their education, Mary stands as an outstanding ambassador for the program, promoting and advertising classes around the community. She constantly encourages students to take the leap and check out new opportunities so that they can achieve their short and long-term goals. She places homemade ESL GED registration signs along the roadside, leading to registration sites, Medina wrote in his nomination. She also takes flyers to the tailgate of her pickup truck to promote classes in Pasadena area. But beyond her enthusiasm for getting more students to take advantage of the adult education offerings, Ms. Vargas is also known throughout the division as someone who is willing to take initiative beyond her job assignments. Her colleagues describe her as a team player who is determined to provide high-quality work in everything she does. She offers her support and guidance to coworkers when there is a need and is very giving and always finding ways to help celebrate staff, Medina said. If support is needed, Mary is sure to assist and get it done. Our comms team created a short video about Ms. Vargas and her impact on the adult education program.
Mary Vargas. I am a support staff here in the Pasadena area.
Sí, ahí estamos registrando, mija. ¿En cuál ocasión necesitaba?
When potential Pasadena area adult education students call about classes and hopeful opportunities, it's Mary who is their first contact.
You need that English to be successful here, but we're here to help you with that too. I like working here because we open doors education-wise, that the help is here in an office, right? And in the office we have certification in computers.
My gosh, she brings life to the program. She is always trying to do something for the students, always acknowledges the students. She's like a cheerleader for the students. When she sees that they're working hard towards their goal, she's there to support them.
This is it. I want to go the right way. I want to finish with all that knowledge you gained. And when you come and take our test, you see it there on the scores.
She pushes the students all the time, whether it be ESL, citizenship, GED in Spanish, or just the regular GED in English. She really brings that student in. She attracts those students. And that's why, I think she's very special.
And Mary relates to the adult education students because 13 years ago, she herself sat in the same classrooms.
I dropped out when I was 16.
Mary is the 9th child out of 10, and her mother raised her and her brothers and sisters working 3 jobs.
Mama did her best in raising us, and one thing she did tell us that education is important. Education is important. Go to school,
But Mary says life got in the way.
Hey, I fell in love, got married at 15. I dropped out of school and got married, had my child. So my education was secondary now because my family was first.
And Mary insisted her children all go to college and get degrees. And when that goal was met, it was her turn to hit the books.
And they said, you don't have to work, you don't have to cook or anything, just hit those books, because it's never too late to go back and finish what you started. And they were my support. They were my support. My husband was my support too.
Mary graduated with high scores and was inducted into the Honor Society. And it was during class she stood out to her teachers and fellow students.
She motivated her classmates. See, that's the thing, and the teacher told me she's really good. She tries to help everybody in class while she was a student herself. And I said, this is the kind of person I want. That's been one of my best decisions here at 26 years at HCDE, one of the best decisions I've made in hiring Mary.
This is something that if I can continue that mission, that people see Harris County as a positive energy, like yes, it opens a lot of doors for people. I want to be part of that, and Harris County is part of that.
I'm pleased to introduce to you Miss Mary Vargas, November 2024 Employee of the Month. And Superintendent Culver, as she comes up, I want to introduce her mother, 88 years young today.
All right, so with that, we will move on to the superintendent report.
Thank you, Madam President. I first want to say that I hope that when I turn 88, I look as good as you do. All right, I just have a few things to update the board on. First, I want to tell everybody we just enjoyed a fantastic Thanksgiving lunch prepared by our Fortis students. They had a salad as an appetizer for us. We had some maple glazed turkey with some asparagus wrapped in bacon that I did not eat. I don't eat asparagus. Cornbread. What else did we have? We had potatoes au gratin, but we also had a pumpkin pound cake, and it was prepared by our students at Fortis who did a fantastic job. So let's give them a hand.
Did you mention the homemade cranberry sauce?
Yeah, I mentioned the homemade. Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to make sure. That was good.
A special recognition, we just have found out, I think last weekend, it was in the paper, that Harris County Department of Ed, for the 4th time, has been rated one of the top workplaces in Greater Houston. Let's give us a hand. So this year we finished 24th. I think there were about 50 companies that responded, and we're in the large division. So this is a division with 500 or more employees. But really what it speaks to is the culture and climate at this organization. I had an opportunity to read all the feedback that was provided by our staff, and there are some things that they talked about consistently in their remarks. The first one is that everyone, or many of the comments I read, they felt strongly about the purpose-driven work that they had at this organization. They really felt like, even from the custodian to the parking attendant, that they were part of an organization that impacts and changes people's lives. And so that is a very powerful artery that runs through the thread of this organization. The other thing is they felt like this organization cares about the employees, and this gets demonstrated consistently. And so I can tell you that I'm extremely proud to be a part of an organization as Harris County Department of Ed. And I look forward to us winning many, many more. Maybe one day we'll get #1. Right now we're 24. So kudos to that. Important dates. You'll see at your station, we have some cards. We will have our board retreat on December 10th. That will be at the Houston Club. On December 11th and December 18th is when we'll have our holiday parties. So this December 11th, we'll have our holiday party at NPO, and December 18th, we'll have it at Irvington, so you're welcome to attend that. And then finally, when it's this December 11th and 12th, we have our Bates car giveaway, which is awesome. If you haven't had an opportunity to attend that, you absolutely need to do that before Christmas. This is a company that is dedicated 20 years, I believe, Mr. Parker. I don't know if it's longer than that. But they've given well over 40 cars to a needy family that's part of our Head Start program. And so you really need to find an opportunity to attend that. You won't regret it. Finally, I'd like to wish everybody a happy holidays. And if you happen to be watching football next week, hook 'em horns.
Thank you very much. And we'll move on to the annual division update. And we'll start out with research and evaluation.
Madam President, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Colbert, Council and Administration, I am Yolanda Perto, the Director of Research and Evaluation Institute, and I am here to give you our annual update. So before I get started, I would like to introduce you to our team. If you will please stand. The lovely, awesome REI, please give them a hand. They are behind the amazing work that we do in research and evaluation, and I thank you for all of your hard work. So who are we in research and evaluation? We are a support division that provides HCDE and the divisions with relevant, timely, and efficient data and information. And we do this through 5 major projects: our annual accountability reporting, our annual service delivery numbers, our data dashboards, program evaluations, and research. So I'll start with our annual reports. Our first annual report is our annual accountability report. For this, we work with divisions to come up with 3 different goals: their service delivery goal, their outcomes goal, and their financial goal. We meet with them in the middle of the year, right before their school year starts, just to see if they would like to update their goal, keep it the same, or make some slight changes. And then at the beginning of the year, we start collecting data throughout the year to see if they maintain or reach that goal at the end of the year. We also keep up with their annual service delivery numbers. So this is also a monthly project. So every month, each division will send us their monthly numbers of the individuals that they serve. And this is broken out by students, educators, and support clients. And as you can see, last year, HCDE as a whole serviced a total of 125,000 individuals, broken out by students, educators, and support clients. We also help divisions with their client satisfaction. So in our division, we go out to the divisions and we see what kind of surveys they might want to ask their clients whenever they host events, or maybe they just want to see overall what they're doing with their program. We come to them and we create surveys that they can send out to their stakeholders. That feedback comes back to us. We put it in a nice, lovely report, or we can put it in a live action dashboard where they have real-time information in their hands whenever they want to see that information. So again, like I was saying about the dashboards, we work with multiple divisions, as you can see here, on creating dashboards so that they can have their data real time. This is just some of the divisions that we have worked with over the past year, creating a dashboard for them. And this is just a screenshot of 4 lovely, beautiful dashboards that the team has put together. Again, we are allowing these divisions to access their data in real time. They don't have to wait on us to put together a report to send them, which could take some time. We still offer reports, but we like to get that data right in front of them real time with these dashboards. In these dashboards, we also have the capability of developing maps so that divisions can see where in Harris County their programs are located, or they can also see where the individuals that are in their programs. So we have created maps for multiple divisions, including adult ed, Head Start, Case for Kids, and schools, just to name a few. So we also do program evaluations in our division. Head Start, we have been doing that evaluation for quite some time now. We are actually starting to do their 5-year assessment update for their next round of funding. Case for Kids, we are also, we survey their stakeholders to so that they can see how they're doing with their program. We survey their students, we survey the parents and teachers. And then Center for Educator Success, we also survey their stakeholders so that they can know how their program is doing for the teacher certification. So research and conferences are also a thing in our division. Last year, we were able to partner with Case for Kids, where we were able to go and dig into their data just a little bit and pull out some very, very good information. Their perceptions of after-school programs on teachers and parents, which was relatively positive. And we actually had the chance to go present that information at the Regional Southwest Education Research Association Conference and the national level, American Education Research Association Conference. We also had a journal publication in our division from the lovely Dr. O'Bain. She submitted to be published in the Texas Council of Women School Executives. And of course, we also attended and presented at other conferences, including our Early Winter Childhood Conference and the Texas Alliance of Black School Educators. And we also presented out at some of our case events, some of the data that we collected from them on their Texas 21st Century grant. We collected some data for them, but also at their annual conference that they did this year. So some day-to-day events. This is one of the big things that we take pride in doing every year. One of our biggest ones is the Client Satisfaction Data Day. And this year we did a Indiana Jones theme. So we had divisions come out, sit with us, look at their data, and dig into it. So that was the theme for this year. We had a really good turnout, but also we also do this not only for the organization, but we will go to each individual division and sit with them and walk them through their data, help them understand what they need to improve on, if anything, what they need to change on tracking. So that is kind of what we do with these big data events. And last year, we had a total of 11 data day events, including the data day and the individual team data digs. So some trends that we are noticing across the divisions, that people want to be able to tell their story through data. And in order to do that, they have to have something to take with them. And so what we're working on is trying to get all the data we can from these divisions and put them in these nice, pretty graphs, these nice maps, so that when they go out to talk to their stakeholders, they will be able to present this information to them in a visual way. They also want their data real time. They can wait on a report, but it's also easier to just get in there and have the data at their fingertips. So that's why we come in with the dashboards. They also want enhanced data, transparency, and access. They want to be able to access their data. It's not enough to be sitting in a spreadsheet. So that's why we come in, we try to clean up that spreadsheet, get them into a dashboard report so that they can have it at their hands. So what's next for us? We are helping divisions visualize their data and work on the dashboards next. We want to continue that initiative and reach more divisions. Program evaluations, we have Head Start, CASE, and CES right now. We want to continue to grow that. We also have been doing some work with the Your Voice Matters. I forgot to mention that, apologies, for that program evaluation, where we actually send out surveys to the 4 different divisions whenever they have any civic engagement events. So we want to continue to grow in our program evaluations. Last but not least, we do research on current events, and we are starting to work with our internal divisions, starting with CASE this year. We want to expand on that and work with more divisions, getting out that good research so that we can share it with the public. And that is my time. What questions do you have for me?
Pleasure to see you again, Yolanda.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, I'm gonna apologize because this is an area I've kind of been growing my knowledge a good bit on.
Okay.
So let's run into it. What softwares are you using for the data?
Sure. So we are using SPSS as of now, and then we also have Qualtrics, which has an internal data analysis inside their system. So we use that. So the surveys go directly into Qualtrics, and then it'll analyze the data. It'll do progressions, regressions, whatever you want inside of Qualtrics. So that's what we're currently using. Of course, we have Excel as well, but those are our main 2 platforms.
Have you considered the more trending software platforms like R or Python?
So I have one person looking into those. He's not here today, but he has, I believe, used the Python to kind of run some numbers or put together something. We haven't really used R yet, but it is on my to-do list to look into.
Awesome. What are we doing to with the data? Or is your division in any way connected with AI, or because a lot of times data and machine learning and all that type of stuff kind of run together?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. We actually had someone work on a paper dealing with AI, so we hope to release that soon. We did some research on the AI. We use it in Qualtrics. They actually have an AI platform. So it's still kind of new. We're still testing it out, but we definitely know about the AI functionality.
And then the automation and all that, that's a big thing too, is connecting the AI into the automation.
Yes.
Using softwares like the one you're using. I use R. I'm pretty good with R and learning Python, but that's the more trending ones. But that's kind of where it's going. Where the cutting edge is with the data and using those platforms, tying with AI and tying with automation. And having a platform where you collect the data, data points, either numbers or information, and you feed it to it. But awesome. This is the cutting edge. The whole area of data that's a growing field, massively growing field, and it's kind of where the future is.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yolanda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Outstanding job. You mentioned Head Start a couple of times. You mentioned the 5-year assessment, and you mentioned some other program evaluation issues. Are we able to, and this is a question, I guess, are we able to track students over time from the Head Start program? I know they go different school districts, but are we able to track
You
students?
mean like after they leave?
Well, after they leave, because of course, we know the research, what it says about students from Head Start, but I was wondering if we specifically tag our students in any manner to be able to measure how well they're doing once they leave our programs?
I'm not sure at the moment, but I can get with Head Start to see if we can do that.
I know it's difficult. FERPA, like I said, they go to different school
Yeah,
districts, but
yeah.
I just didn't know if we tracked our students.
Currently, we don't, but I can get with Head Start to see. Yeah.
I'd like to add to that because on our special schools committee, I think it was important to see where our students are when they leave their actual school and then integrate back into their educational setting to see if their time with us is progressing them or keeping them stagnant in a way. So I think to add to that, that was a long battle, I remember, with our committee to just see what mechanisms are in place to measure our students and know that the time with us is not just to give them that holistic skill, but that academic skill as well to integrate back into their actual schools as well.
Foods as well. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank you and your crew. Really, our research and evaluation department has a tremendous amount of potential, both internally and externally. We try to take the time to also analyze the landscape of Harris County because it's constantly changing as academic accountability and standards change. School districts' needs are different. And so my goal is to try to create like a heat map of the entire county to find out what areas are most needy in specific areas and find a solution where we might be able to provide assistance. The capacity for this department is significant. And I think that's for several reasons. One, we have a tremendous talent pool of people who exist within it, but information and technology is changing rapidly, and our ability to populate information and even track students is a tremendous capacity that we're going to also continue to explore. So thank you for your leadership, and I appreciate you and your department.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we'll move on to our Education Foundation update. Trina?
Good afternoon. I'm Trina Silva, and I am the Education Foundation and Partnerships Director here at Harris County Department of Education. This is my 8th month here in this role, and I'm a representative of both HCDE and the foundation. And I work very closely with the other divisions here. I also most recently had a fall intern that was in partnership with the Hobby School of Public Affairs, so this is Hottie. And I also work closely with our board of directors, and our board chair is here today. Our board of directors brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table, so we're lucky to have them. Some of our funding sources, our largest unrestricted funder is HCDE, and some of our biggest givers are our employees, and so they're really excited about being a part of the wonderful programs we have. You can see how excited they are in that photo. In FY24, we raised $8,000 through the employee giving campaign. And then our program, there are several programs that are supplemented through EFHC donations. And so our largest is from the Houston Endowment for our civic engagement program, which Yolanda mentioned, Your Voice Matters. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. I will tell you, my first week here, they threw me into it. I went to my first event, I think on my third day here, and it was a luncheon for HISD, State of Education. But I have been out and about a lot. So if y'all have not seen any photos on social media, it's probably because you're not looking at our social media. So make sure you follow us. But these are some of the organizations that we're a part of, and we're really trying to maximize on our memberships and continue to look into additional memberships that would really align with our mission. And so you'll see some of the photos of all those wonderful people. Some of y'all are in them. And we're also building new relationships. So this is a photo of Danielle Bartz and I. We went and we were on ESPN Houston Sports Radio. We are pictured with who will be, I'll talk about them in a bit, our co-chairs for our second annual Heart of Education Luncheon. And I bolded Calpine Corporation on there because we have an exciting announcement. Calpine Corporation has decided to match up to $10,000 for a holiday giving campaign. So we're lucky to have that partnership. For our second annual luncheon, which was in early October, we had several returning sponsors and some new ones. So we had 8 new ones and 10 returning. And this is just a list of all of those people. We also had one of our own employees that sponsored the entertainment for that day. We had a silent auction again. We made almost twice as much as we did the previous year, but partly that was because we had twice as many items. We also had Wi-Fi that worked. I think last year, if you were there, you might have noticed it wasn't working very well, but we were ready. Our comms team had some hotspots ready in case we had any issues. Our top item was a 14-person suite to an Astros game, which was donated by an anonymous donor. And there's a couple of other examples of what was really popular. And those are our 31 silent auction donors there. Our attendance, we had better attendance than last year. We had more external attendees than last year. And the internal attendees, most of them were helping the day of the event. So there was several things that we did differently this year. We had a fireside chat, which you can see on that top photo on the right. And we had the co-chairs that we did not have last year. We also had the ROTC present the colors. And these ROTC students, they received one of the grants from the foundation. So they got a $10,000 grant. It was Stafford High School. This is a breakdown of how much money we raised. And I wanted to give a shout out to everyone. This is a photo of some of the people that helped leading up to and the day of the event. And so without them, I'm a team of one. So without them, this would not have been possible. So I just want to give a special thank you to them. And we raised over $63,000. I'm going to jump into our Partners in Education programs. So this year, Tools for Teachers, Challenge Office Products partnered with us again, and they have said that they want to continue that partnership. We were featured on Channel 39 Morning News, and we filled those spots in record time. I want to say about 2 hours, those spots were filled. So there's definitely a need for school supply monies for those teachers. And these are some of the photos from some of the classrooms that received some of those school supplies this year. My favorite is that little kid in the corner giving the thumbs up sign. And we impacted 22 districts, so we're really making a difference there. And some of our top items that were needed are listed there, so you can kind of see where that money is going. And then our PI grants. We awarded 27 grants this year. Most of them were $10,000. We had one that was $30,000. We impacted 17 districts. And this graphic up here on the top right, it kind of gives you keywords of where those, what those grants were. So you see JROTC in there, and then literacy was a big one too. So this middle graphic is a bookmark example that Goose Creek Consolidated ISD made, where they gave out some books to some students. The books were bilingual. They were, it was one book, and it was half in Spanish and half in English. And this little kid is actually one of the kids that got the book. So he's super excited. But they made an impact with 2,500 students. And so on the bookmark, it also lists us as a sponsor for that. For our scholarships this year, we awarded 37 students. We had over 50 applicants, and we impacted 14 districts. So each student got $2,500 each, and this is a photo from our scholarship celebration, which some of y'all attended, so thank you. And our scholarship mixer was held in here right after the renovations. We had over 80 attendees at that scholarship mixer. We had food, we have photo ops. We also had the civic engagement team set up so that they can register those students to vote. And the comms team was here to take those stories from students, educators, and their families. And there's a list of the attendees that we had. The guests of the students, they ranged from being family members to significant others to teachers, counselors. It was a wide variety of people. A little bit about our civic engagement team. They have been working really hard, really pounding the pavement going into our partner sites and schools. They went to 19 of those. And I had the opportunity to go out and read to some of those students. They received these t-shirts that you can see in the photo. It says Future Voter, and a book. They had it in English and Spanish called I Voted. And I don't know if y'all have ever read to students. I know some of y'all have. It was my first time ever. I was a little bit scared. I don't have kids. But it's so cute hearing the little 3-year-old say democracy. So, so yes, I encourage you, go and read to some kids. And they engage with over 1,800 adults and 1,100 students. And there were some programs that were designed specifically for this civic engagement project. And so those impacted the Head Start families, case students, high schoolers in Harris County. And also the team introduced mock elections and voter education workshops, and they partnered with other organizations so that they could make sure that they were letting people know about opportunities to get civically engaged, but also about how they could take advantage of the programs that HCDE offers. And so there's a photo of some of the civic engagement team, and also another intern that was from the Hobby School of Public Affairs up there in the dark blue. And so what's next? Well, we have achieved our FY24 goals, and so now we're looking at FY25. Our holiday giving campaign is coming up, so that's going to be starting the Giving Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, and it'll last until the end of the year. And so we really want to make sure that we're raising at least $10,000 so we can get that $10,000 match. And then we also want to get the board involved. We want to have 100% board contributions, and so taking advantage of that match is the perfect opportunity for them. And as I came into my role, and I have so many amazing ideas that I want to implement, I need to kind of take a little step back to make sure that I'm establishing some sustainable processes. And I want to increase donor stewardship. We have a lot of really amazing donors that we need to make sure that we're cultivating and stewarding, and hopefully getting them on board to increase their giving. And then we also want to plan a second fundraising event. So we don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I have kind of an idea, but more to come on that. What questions do you have for me?
So the first thing I just want to say is thank you so much. You've done an amazing job in this role. So I want to commend you for that. You make it look very easy, and
Thank
I
you.
know that it is not easy. This is not an easy position. So thank you so much for all your hard work, and you've been a really good asset to us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I really want to say several things. First, you know, when I first got here, the foundation looked very, very, very different. It was far more programmatic than it was philanthropic. Really, no monies went out from the foundation. It only took money in, and it supported programs. So then we ultimately decided to tear the entire foundation down to the very bare bones and rebuild it. One of the biggest challenges in doing that were finding people who would volunteer to be a part of it. So I'd like to once again give a special recognition to Michael Parks for being the new board chair. And prior to that, Steve and David, you know, they've given up a lot of time and effort to be a part of something and help cultivate a vision and a goal for something that didn't exist and trying to find an identity. This board and HCDE has really supported our foundation and trying to distribute money and once again trying to find the blind spots of public education. And there's been several that have been found. Trustee Duhan was the one who really pushed forward getting school supplies out to teachers. I've been an educator for 30 years. I didn't know teachers needed school supplies. Apparently it took a trustee, yeah. It's been a while since I've taught. But there's a significant need for that. And what better to fill that void than the foundation when we take money in and we multiply its power in giving it out directly to the teachers to help them in the classroom versus funneling it to central office, and it helps balance the budget. We actually see kids with products in their hands that are a byproduct of this foundation giving. We've had a significant footprint in assisting all of the school districts. A lot of it through playing a whole lot of golf, not always great golf, but you know, we think that's a small thing, but school districts are incredibly appreciative when you sponsor whole and you put together a team because you're supporting their foundation. And so you think that's a small thing, but it goes a long ways when you show up to events. They don't forget about it. There was a time when we were looking and begging people to apply for grants and scholarships, and we don't do that anymore, you know, and it's getting to the point where people are waiting for it to drop. Like, when is the date going to be where I can get my $100 for school supplies, or are you going to pay for another, you know, hole for a golf tournament or something like that? So I would say that, you know, we're on our fourth lap of doing this, and it's really taken root. And so I really appreciate the direction that you're taking it to. I know you've only been here for 8 months, and you know, you had to go through a little initiation time.
Hazing.
You
No,
know,
I'm just kidding.
you dove in the deep part of the pool. But you've been doing a great job, and we have, you know, challenged you with a lot of responsibility, not only to grow the foundation, but also to make a footprint in the community where we can start developing civic partnerships. And so I'm really happy about the progress with that. So thank you for your leadership, and keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I have a question. I'm sorry. Thank you for what you do. I like to ask, who determines how many or how much is given towards the tools for teachers? And two, the list of the collaborative organizations for civics, you know, are we engaging them in governmental agencies for deliberation, like deliberative democracy or some sort? Just wondering where your future goals are with that. But basically the tools for teachers, like, where does that cap come from?
I will answer the first question. I'm going to turn the second one over to the civic engagement team. So historically, we've given $200,000 for tools for teachers. And so that's something that I believe was allocated by the Board of Trustees.
Okay. And that's continued?
Yes.
Okay. And we use it all up?
Yes. Well, so we extend an offer to 200 teachers, or sorry, 2,000 teachers to get that $100 voucher. But some of the teachers don't take advantage of that. And so what happens is that money rolls over into the next year.
Okay, so we don't open it back up to those that didn't.
Not unless, I think maybe in the past they might have if there was like a very low number and so they had like a second round, but this year we had the majority, I mean, the money was almost all given away.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And then I'm gonna turn the second question
Okay,
over
great.
to our civic
Thank you.
engagement team.
Hello. Hi. My name is Avery Spranger, Civic Engagement Coordinator. My teammate Arnaldo is here as well. Could you repeat your question one more time just so I'm answering the right one?
Well, I just think that we engage with the voting aspect and how and to do, but also civics is about engaging them in governmental practice and deliberation, right? And so I'm just wondering, is that on your future radar, or even here, bringing them here to engage with us in a way?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for your question. So yes, like you said, we did just have a big election. So that was kind of our push, was mainly like voter registration, voter education. But coming up in 2025, well, and also the work we were doing with kids, like kids can't vote yet. So we were teaching them the holistics of like your voice matters, like it matters talking to your teacher, talking to your principal. So we're doing a really like holistic outreach project that does include telling people like even the Fortis students that you all like, you ate their food today. We've been doing outreach with the Fortis students, like telling them they should come to this board meeting. They should come make their voices heard. Like definitely it's very holistic and we are doing our best to make sure that people are getting the full scope. And so yeah, like Trina said, with our partners as well, working with nonprofits, other ISDs, like governmental agencies to try to get like elected officials out to sites. Definitely be checking your emails. I'll be trying to get you to come speak to some students as well.
Okay,
But
so are we student-centered only?
Not necessarily, no. We've been doing outreach with adult education. Yeah, we went out to the Pasadena site that got highlighted today. We've been all over. You guys would not believe my mileage reimbursement check I got last month.
Okay.
Yes, we've been to all the
Okay.
sites.
All right, well, thank y'all for what you do.
Yes, of course.
May I just add really quickly onto the conversation about tools for teachers? This was, I believe, the third year that we've done it. Is that right? We going 3? And it seems that every year it has grown in participation of who actually went through with accepting their vouchers, right? And $200,000 was the amount that we've dedicated to this every single year. I think that it's very clear that this is a program that we'd like to continue to support and grow. And I think that that's something that we all have to be dedicated to see the difference that it can make for all of the teachers that are utilizing these programs. We discussed opening it back up for a second semester for the funds that were not used. It sounds like they were pretty much gone at the beginning of the fall semester, but perhaps that means that we need to double the amount that we're putting into this program. And so I just wanted us to be able to bring that to our attention. I appreciate you guys. Thanks.
It's in the meeting minutes.
Or like times 10, I'm just...
It will get used. Any trustee? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Any other reports from board members concerning any HCDE events or anything you attended? Okay. And now, any reports from board committees? Okay, seeing none, and we will move into the monthly financial reports. Dr. Mesqua?
Time to go. Okay, the first report is our financial highlights for the month of October 31st, 2024. All our information are posted on our webpage. Our balance sheet is $33.5 million, liabilities of $3 million, equity of $30,500,000. This is estimated fund balance, and we have negative $5,190,453, primarily because revenues don't come in until
December or January our tax money. So we've been utilizing our fund balance to operate the first 3 months. Our indicators, keep in mind that these are only 2 months of data, so it's some of the percentages are a little bit skewed because not enough data is still yet in the fiscal year. Percentage of fund balance 274% versus 228 as of last year. Working capital 30 million. We have unassigned fund balance ratio at 88%, very similar from a year ago at the same time. Debt to income ratio, any payments are done in August and February, so these two you won't see a activity until we get the February and August payments. Tax revenue, again, we'd only get taxes until late December, early January, so this particular ratio will start showing up more when we start looking at the December and January board meeting financial statement. Indirect cost ratio, we're at 4.1 versus 2% from a year ago. Our indirect, we have more grants, and so that's increase our indirect cost ratio. Fee for service ratio, we're at 15%. Again, a lot of this is because it is early in the year, and you'll start seeing that as the next quarter starts. Fee for service revenue growth ratio, we're at minus 75%. Some of our special schools will be billing in the fall. So right now, this does not reflect the billing for the fall just yet. So we will see that by the December timeframe. No budget amendments, and then budget to actual. The first 2 months are 16%, so we're at 6% in the general fund. So a lot of those revenues that are coming in, really we're using the fund balance to operate during the first 2 to 3 months. Expenditures, we're at 17%, so a little bit ahead with encumbrances, which is normally at this time 16%, so we're just a little bit ahead by 1%. Donations report for the first 2 months, we're at 48,257, primarily for some donations made to Choice and Head Start for some of the events. Yes, and special schools as well. Our tax collections, I'm sorry, I must skip one. We were projecting at 665 billion in our property values. So far, that has been certified is 652 billion. So we still have 13 billion to go. So we should be able to get there sometime during the next 8 to 9 months. Should we do that? Again, not including exemptions, possibly an increase in our revenue from the tax levy. For this month, again, we're not having collected anything because we haven't received some of the collections in December and January, so you won't see this until probably December, and January you'll see the bulk of the collections. Same thing as last year, from one year to the next, and so we will not see those primarily in the month of January. In terms of our disbursements, we've paid 5,893,267. So because we don't have revenues coming in the first couple months, we have that money from our fund balance. In the segment data, we have educator success as utilizing tax subsidy of 345,703, records management 314,239, and therapy at 210,559, and schools a little bit of 3.4 million. Choice Partners, it's at 509%, continues to do well, and have transfers out to general fund of 2,318,844 for the first 2 months. We don't have any budget amendments for this month. In the foundation update, they have in their balance sheet equity or assets of 263,946, which makes up some of the programs that are still pending to be implemented the 263,947 for carryover from the previous year. In terms of our construction, our small business program, wanted to announce we will have a new report on the small business program in December. We've partnered with a company called B2G Now and this is just a preview of the small business program page that we will be outlining for the next month. Basically, what we will do is get the payment register, do a software upload, get the classification for each of the vendors, search the database, prepare the graphics, and then report it on the website. And so we will see in December the first report cumulative of 2024, and then we will start doing that once a month moving forward. In terms of the bond series, we have $421,000 in maintenance note and $4.4 million in the PFC from the 2020 bond series. And we have retainage payable of $1,283,435 pending in all our projects. From the 2024 maintenance notes, we still have $13,890,000. And we have retainage from the Durotech retainage of $153,087. The first 2020 is 99% complete. We're just spending the retainage on the 2020 bond series. In the 2024 maintenance notes, we are 79% complete in Irvington, and so we have all the funds committed at this time. That's the report for the month of October. What questions do you have?
Any questions from the board? No? All right. Thank you.
The next one is the investment report. Again, all our information is posted on our website, and our portfolio as of October 31st is $50,530,882. Out of that, 45% is in Lone Star, 6% in Chase, 17% in Texas Class, 9% in Techstar, and 23% in TechSpool. From the from the PFC, $335,000 left. 75% is in TechSpool, 25% is in Bank of Texas. When we compare the portfolio from one year to the next, our fund balance or our portfolio has gone up by $10,332,759, or 26%, and that accounts for the maintenance note that was issued 6 months ago. We still have that in our portfolio. Our funds are earning overnight funds and so far we've earned $461,540, and PFC $3,655. We're earning 4.83, and the benchmark is 4.66. And as you can see, the rates were going up until 2 months ago, September. In October, that there have been 2 changes by the Federal Reserve. The first one was a 50 basis point cut in September, and a 25 basis point cut in November. There's speculation that December will have another 0.25 basis cut again. What questions do you have?
May I please see slide 12? We just kind of
12?
skimmed it really quickly, and I
Yes.
just wanted to take a look at that for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Those are the available, when we go out to move monies around, those are the rates that are available overnight. Still fairly substantial.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll begin with our consensus action items. Does anyone have any items to pull today? Okay, seeing none. Okay. No, no problem.
I like to pull E1. E7, E2, G1.
E1, E2, E7, and G1.
And G1, please.
E5.
I said E1, E2, E7, E5.
Okay. Do I have a motion to pass the consensus items minus the ones we pulled? Motion by trustee
Seconded.
Brown, seconded by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, so then we will begin with item number E1, consider approval of amendment number 3 to interlocal revenue agreement with Harris County from 04/25/2023 through 12/31/2026 for the amended budget line items and consolidation totaling the amount of $7,100,000 for CASE for Kids to provide summer activities and projects, college and career readiness projects, program site visits, and coaching to each of the 4 Harris County precincts.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Duhan, seconded by trustee Brown. Do I have any
We just need an explanation.
explanation?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon. So for the county, we have a 7-year contract with them. And as the funds that are unspent in a current grant year funds that are unspent roll forward into the next fiscal year, their fiscal year does not align with our fiscal year. And so we reallocate funds that are unspent toward more grantee applications. So for the organizations that apply for the summer program, County Connections, the summer initiative, we take those unspent funds and we roll them forward to the new fiscal year, and then their grantee pool is widened.
Okay, so is it still within the county precincts, or you're saying
Yes.
widen? Oh, so
It's still within the county precincts. It's just that unspent funds from the current grant year, or the previous grant year, are rolling forward to the new grant year. So we have to do a budget amendment with the county as well.
and so is there equity amongst the precincts, or how is that determined?
Yes, ma'am. To start, there is a set amount that each precinct has to grant, and then funds that are granted in those precincts, the commissioners can approve those funds to be utilized in other precincts. But we try to grant in their precinct first.
Perfect, okay. They have to figure that out on their own. Gotcha.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. No further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Move on to item E2. Consider ratification of interlocal agreements for fiscal year 2025 and in the aggregate amount of $1,264,200 with ABS West and the following districts. Well, Fort Bend ISD, out-of-county annual contracts in the amount of $259,875, and Conroe ISD for 15 out-of-county annual contracts in the amount of $433,123 for the contract period of 8/26/2024 through 6/05/2025. The Hano Center for Community Concerns for 1 in-county annual contract in the amount of $23,800 for the contract period of 9/17/2024 through 6/05/2025, and Houston ISD for 23 in-county annual contract in the amount of $547,400 for the contract period of 8/12/2024 through 6/30/2025. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Motion by trustee Duhan, seconded by trustee Brown. Discussion?
Yes, explanation, please.
Explanation, please.
Especially out of county.
Hey, good afternoon. So we typically get the contract requests in from in-county and out-of-county districts during the course of the school year, especially once school has started. Then they find that their need has increased. They typically call in and make adjustments to, or make amendments to their contracts. So typically in this case, we depend solely upon them to be able to get the signatures done by their stakeholders within their district so that we can move forward with getting these contracts approved.
I think I'd like to answer a question that I think might be on your mind. Out-of-county contracts are a higher rate than in-county contracts. Is that part of the question?
No, I want the explanation of, even if they don't have the vote as you're referencing.
Right.
Then what happens?
So typically, if they're not able to get the contract approved, then we'll work with the ISD to make sure that they're at least have the process in place, so we know that they're gonna bring it to their board and get the signature so that we can get it back and get it approved.
So the process starts all over again?
It
or-
typically, we try not to, we try to make sure that we get a commitment from them before we place a student. And obviously, in light of the fact that they may have some changes going on within their district, because several districts have had new directors. And so we've been working with them to try to ensure that we're able to meet the needs of their district with their kids, as well as get the contracts in place. And we typically know that these are longstanding clients of ours. So we typically don't prevent them from placing a student,
Gotcha.
you know, while this is still in flux.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
So we do serve the students prior to the contract being?
In most instances, we work with the ISD to get the
yeah, as long as
students on board. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, their credit is typically good with us.
Any further discussion? Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Oh, sorry.
Motion, trustee Dick? Okay, all motion carries 7-0. Okay, thank you. Okay, next E5, consider ratification of the school-based therapy services interlocal agreement for the period of 8/16/2024 through 8/15/2025 in the aggregate amount of $95,010 with the following district: Dayton ISD, 63 students served in fiscal year 23 to provide therapy services. Do I have a motion? Motion by trustee Cantu.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Davis. Any discussion? Who pulled this? Oh, explanation?
Dayton ISD is a small contract where we do provide services for students because it is an area that is a little bit further away and it's not closer to this area. We do find that sometimes they have a difficult time finding professionals to serve the students, such as OT and PT. So that is one of the districts that we provide services to, so that students' needs will be met. Otherwise, our special ed services and students would not have their needs met.
So, ma'am, is this a new contract?
It is not a new contract. We've had it now for several years. But it is, when you compare it to some of our older contracts, which we've had since 1975, it is new. But yes, usually when districts have a hard time finding professionals to serve their districts, they will come to us.
And is this a out-of-county rate?
Anything, yes. Not Dayton?
No.
Not Dayton, not Dayton. Yeah, it's pretty far, but it's obviously still in county.
Wait, it is in Harris
It
County?
is in county, yes.
I thought Dayton was in Liberty.
Depends on how
I
they
think
define.
someone's backyard is in Harris County. It's, I mean, to be serious, we have several districts, New Caney, Stafford, that are just barely in county. And so
Yes.
we still do provide them services with the rate that we award to all the Harris County school
Oh,
districts.
okay.
Got it.
And what you find with many of the school districts, we have districts that we have long-standing contracts to do
Yes.
all their therapy services, but we provide services with more school districts than that. Sometimes we pick up extra students as they need services, and they don't have enough staff for them. So we'll pick up the overage for it.
And it is a small district, so we do provide all their services for OT and PT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you finding an increase in more of our partner schools that need this service? Or is it like in rotation? I know y'all keep statistics, but it's,
What we find is that there is a need to support special ed students. There is an increase. You know, being in Houston and the Houston area, there is a lot of competition because of all the hospitals, because of the clients. Occupational therapists and physical therapists have lots of areas where they can find employment. Sometimes we have people or professionals that are looking for year-round jobs, because it's obviously a difference between a 12-month employment versus 9.5 months. So hospitals do have a tendency to pay more. Our HR department has been wonderful about canvassing the market and making sure that we can offer competitive salaries.
okay, yes. Thank you. You know, if we need to make adjustments, I think that it would be beneficial to stay on that competitor spectrum of what we need to provide more services or more clients that need the service, and bring people towards us. So if there's something that the superintendent can bring to us, please let us know.
And something about Harris County Department of Ed and our therapy services, school-based therapy, we have an extremely good reputation out in Harris County, so districts have a tendency to want to partner with us. We are very collaborative in the way we deliver services, so we make sure that we are very careful with the district's money and make sure that we are providing services in an efficient and economically responsible manner.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, any further discussion, questions? All in favor? Motion passes 7-0. All right, on to E7, consider approval of interlocal agreement for Center for Safe and Secure Schools with the Hano Community Center, Raul Isaguirre Schools for Success, for development of school behavioral threat assessment manual for an amount not to exceed $6,375 for the period of 12/02/2024 through 12/12/2024. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Davis, seconded by trustee Brown. And do I have any,
It was just an explanation for the school behavioral threat assessment manual and so forth.
Good afternoon, Robert Marquez, Safety and Security Specialist for Center for Safe and Secure Schools. This training evolution is in line with the Safe Supported Schools program to help RYSS understand and apply to the standards for the Texas School Safety Center's behavioral threat model. It will start in the day's scope of work is basically go through their code of conduct and everything, and then establish a threat assessment manual for them, part of their charter schools in compliance.
And are they newly established?
The school has been around for a while. The enforcement of Texas school safety standards have been applied toward charter schools and understanding the threat assessment model.
Okay, and are we doing this for others, or is this just our first aspect of trying to help people stay in compliance?
This is a part of our client model systems, our series model with the Center for Safe and Secure Schools.
Okay.
So it's part of the whole different services that are provided.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay.
You.
all right, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. And the final item from our consensus is G1, consider approval to amend CH local fiscal year 2025 to add Corrigan Associates in the aggregate amount not to exceed $150,000 for architectural design services. Increase Burlington English by $62,480 for an aggregate amount not to exceed $170,000 for adult education technology services. Increase the City of Houston Water by $35,000 for an aggregate amount not to exceed $160,000 for utilities. And increase Hillco Partners by 10,000 for an aggregate amount not to exceed 285,000 for governmental relations services. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Davis, seconded by trustee Cantu, and discussion.
Explanation.
Question, explanation?
This CH logo is an amendment that we brought to the board at the beginning in August. Some of the contracts were increased because they exceed the amount that was presented to you in August. And so, for example, Burlington English is increasing the allocation for that contract for adult ed. Water, City of Houston Water by 35,000, and then Hilco by 10,000. So we're amending the cumulative amount for a 12-month period.
And why are they increasing it?
Some of them, because there's an additional increase in the contract for the usage. For example, adult ed, they're going to use more of that service for the period. Water is, we underestimated it, and so that is an increase for the whole year. And then Hilco, we also underestimated the contract should have been 285, and so when we put it in there, it was under by 10,000.
Okay, and we underestimated it per what metrics?
The contract that was approved by the from the previous year, from one year to the next.
Okay. Okay. I'd definitely like to meet on this with the Governmental Relations Committee. Thank you.
Any further discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. And we'll move on to our non-consensus items. Consider approval, 7-1, consider approval of resolution regarding House Bill 3033, designation of non-business days relating to Texas Public Information Act for calendar year 2025. Do I have a motion? Motion by trustee McGee. Seconded by trustee Cantu. Any discussion? Any questions? Okay, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. 7-2, consider adoption of board resolution to cast HCDE's votes for the Harris Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. Do I have a motion?
Yes. I would like legal advice and postpone this till after session, please.
Okay, so we will pull that until after session. All right, 7-3, consider approval of the proposed annual budget calendar for fiscal year 2025 to 2026. Do I have a motion? So moved. Motion with trustee Duhan, seconded by trustee McGee. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 7-0. 7-4, consider approval of the competitive sealed proposal as the project delivery contract method for the demolition, site clearing, and playground surface installation projects at Tidwell Head Start and LaPorte Head Start Centers. So moved. Motion by trustee Duhan, seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 7-0. 7-5, consider approval of change order number 1 with Geofill Material Technologies, DBA, Geofill Construction, and delegate authority to the superintendent or his designee to negotiate, finalize, and execute the change order for the Coolwood Head Start site work and utilities project to install a natural gas standby generator and gate operators in the amount of $1,313,687. Do you have a motion? Motion by trustee Brown, seconded by trustee Davis. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 7-0. And with that, we move into executive session. Under Texas Government Code pursuant to any and all purposes permitted by sections 551.001 through 551.084, including but not limited to 551.071 and 551.074. And that is at 2:35 p.m.
Anything else? Yeah, we can move this. Take your lunch right now. Oh, thank you.
Thank y'all for waiting.
No, you're good, you're good. Yes. And we're happy to like stop by government relations committee meeting or something if you wanna do some more. I know. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, because we got some cute pictures, we got some cute like stuff to share. Like that was just a really big of this. So I know it's something like all of you obviously like to do, but especially stuff like this. So. No, I'm not allowed. Oh. I was like, because they don't want my looks. They don't. You have to be
I've been chilling out. I gotta lose 12.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we will reconvene our regular board meeting at 3:44 PM. And do I have any motions from? Oh, the HCAD one. Okay, yes. I don't have it. Okay. All right, so we will start with 7.2, consider adoption of board resolution to cast HCDE's votes for the Harris Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. Do I have a motion for that?
I move to award Melissa Noriega 10 votes.
So that I have a motion by trustee Dick and a second by trustee McGee. Any discussion?
I think we should distribute them accordingly. I think that we were not a part of the original process of nominating, and I hope that if they're listening, that they involve us in that process, to not have us make this decision like it is today. But I think it's unfair to know that if anyone up here does not know all of the people listed, I think that we can distribute accordingly, as they are all servicing the same thing.
Superintendent?
Yeah, I will just kind of extend that statement that, I'm disappointed that, this should have been sent to the board much sooner. to give the board an opportunity to look into the names and make a really good decision. And it's come to my attention that we had to really seek out this information, which has kind of put the board on the clock in a situation today to make a decision with very little prep time. Having said that, and having an opportunity to finally get to see the names that are on here that are presented to the board, there's one name that stands out to me that I just wanted to say publicly, who has been a great advocate of this organization and a great advocate for public education, and that's Paul Shanklin, who serves on the Aldine ISD board and has been a fearless public servant for quite some time. That's all I have.
In addition to, I'd like to name that even though it's without partisan, but education is still our focus. And I believe that Martina Dixon has served on a school board as well, which lets me know that their interests are still with the hearts of our students. And so I ditto what superintendent has said. It's just that equity lens of wishing that we knew about this before.
I would like to add that I have seen Melissa Noriega's background and know that she is an advocate for public education in all situations and has been a great public servant in the past. I do not know any of the other candidates aside from her. And I'll echo what y'all are saying, that it's really difficult to make decisions that can have a bearing on the population that we are supposed to be serving without all of the information. So,
you know, I'm not great at math. I don't think you can divide 10 by 3, but I'm sure
We could do
perhaps the board
something.
could come up with some solution where they could distribute points to each of the 3 candidates mentioned.
So we have 10 votes, and we can distribute those in any way that we deem.
So I would note that there are a number of good candidates on here, and I'm familiar with all of them. And some have really great history, right? I know Mike Sullivan was a city council member. He also was the tax assessor. And there's a lot of good candidates there. Bill Frazier's another excellent candidate. He's a CPA. And of course, Ms. Dixon is a wonderful candidate. She's an excellent candidate. However, I did push early on that we'd be part of the nomination process, but I was saddened to see that we were kind of denied our due process by even being able to nominate anybody to this, which is really, and our votes are nominal, but we can nominate just the same as any other governmental entity. And that's just kind of like, it's just kind of saddened. And I'd hope we would send a letter to, the organization that's handling this, I guess the chief appraiser, which one of the candidates is a former chief appraiser. I think it's Jim Robinson is the former chief appraiser of Harris HCDE. All the candidates are good candidates, right? Whatever y'all want to do, I have opinions. I have strong opinions. Melissa's a good person. I know her. I know most everybody here. So it's however y'all want to split up the votes, but it's 10 votes. It doesn't.
Okay,
It's
so-
nominal.
So the board, I've heard 5 names, Dixon, Noriega, Shanklin, and Sullivan. Those are the 5 names that I've heard that are familiar to the board members.
Yeah.
And
Divided by-
conveniently, we get 10 votes. So we could give 2 votes to each.
Let's do it.
Did you name the 5 again, please?
This Dixon, Frazier, Noriega, Shanklin, and Sullivan.
Thank you.
So moved.
No, there's already a motion on the table.
What I would suggest is I amend my motion to incorporate what the president has suggested.
Great.
And
And seconded by trustee McGee.
So that would be just so everybody understands and what you're voting on, that was a friendly amendment made by trustee Dick, agreed to by trustee McGee, who seconded the original motion, to apportion and cast by resolution HCDE's 10 votes, with 2 each for Dixon, Frazier, Noriega, Shanklin, and Sullivan.
Good job.
Okay, all in favor? Motion passes
We have
6.
discussion?
All in favor, say. we
All
say
in favor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All opposed?
1.
1.
Okay. Motion passes.
All right, so then we move on to our, right, so 10A, possible action regarding superintendent's contract.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the 11th Amendment to the Superintendent's Employment Contract as discussed in executive session.
Okay, motion by trustee McGee, seconded by trustee Cantu. Any discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Motion passes. And then 10B, possible action regarding pending litigation against HCDE. There you go.
Madam Chair, I move to authorize the superintendent to take action regarding the pending litigation involving CLTD as discussed in closed session, and to negotiate, finalize, and execute any agreement relating thereto.
Okay, motion by trustee McGee,
Second.
seconded by trustee Dick. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 7-0.
My fault.
Okay, and then next we'll address item 9, discussion and possible action regarding future agenda items. Are there any? No? Okay. So with that, we can adjourn, and we adjourn. I need a motion to adjourn. A motion by trustee McGee, seconded by trustee Brown. All in favor? All right, motion passes 7-0. We adjourn at 3:53 p.m. And then we will return for a special meeting.
Can we take a maybe 5-minute recess?
We'll take a 5-minute recess and. 4:15. Okay, we'll return at about 4:15.
Whatever y'all want.
It's up to you.
All right, we'll return at 10 after. We'll do 4:10.
4:10, perfect.
What are we doing now?
She's not as